stop till everything's gone. Straight ahead, never turn around. Don't back up, don't back down.
I'd like to welcome you to the Dog Pound Weekly. I'm Randy Moore, I'm the head football coach, and today I have with us our senior quarterback, George Blake. George, why don't you tell us a little bit about your major, your background, things like that, where you went to high school?
I went to high school at Parma High School. I'm a business management major here at Hiram College, and I plan on owning a business or managing one in the future. So.
Do you know what kind of business you want to own?
Well, not certain yet, but I do plan to own a business, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, you've got some time to think about it. And George is a two-sport athlete for us here at Hiram. He's a baseball player, has been a 3-year starter for them and done an outstanding job for the baseball team, and he's been a big member of our football team. Just to tell you a little bit about George, when he was in high school, very gifted athlete from Parma High School. He's a 3-sport athlete. All 3 sports, won the conference championship, and he was a star on every one of those teams. And this year he came into the season, was our backup quarterback. Our starter got hurt in the first quarter of the second game, and George stepped up and has been our player of the game for the last 2 weeks in a row. He's really done an outstanding job. And I think that one of the things that I feel has helped George be successful is he's become a student of the game. You know, he has a great desire to be successful, as you can tell from all those accolades in high school and all the conference championships, to be successful. But what he's taken to take that next level is become a student of the game. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do to prepare for the games and things like that?
Yeah, to note on that, in high school is a lot different. I'm starting to learn more about the college aspect of it, is putting more time and effort, that you have extra time and effort to capitalize off the other team and get to know them better instead of just, you watch some film in high school, but in college it's a lot more different. I'm starting to learn that aspect a lot more as I grow as an athlete.
Good. And we think he's got a great mentor with Henry Stanford, our offensive coordinator and our quarterback coach. George was 20 out of 35 this week for 357 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really led our offense, and as I talked to Coach Stanford, the premise of our offense is for the quarterback to manage the game, and then to make plays when he's needed. And George did a great job of both of those. He threw a slant for a touchdown to Richard Simpson. That was a play that he audibilized to and went to right away, and seeing what the defense did, and really did a nice job with it. Going back to the Worcester game a little bit, it was a tough week. We spotted a good football team, 21 points, and then we came back and the final score was 38-24. And I think in years past, that comeback and that outscoring them from that point on, 24-17, may not have happened at Hiram College. I think that has a lot to say for our football team, our coaches, the drive and the desire to be successful. Do you see anything different in that this year, George?
No, that's exactly what I noticed different from previous years, is that our team seems to have more heart and passion for the game. And the biggest key, though, the biggest factor is having confidence that we can handle other teams no matter what they throw at us. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest key, is confidence.
Right. And I think that's been part of our defensive resurgence, but especially our offensive resurgence, is just the ability to, whatever we get presented, rise above and be successful in that situation. Some key players this week of the game. On the offensive side of the football, our offensive line again allowed 2 sacks, but they weren't really the offensive line's fault. There were running backs and things like that. George may have once held on to the ball too long. I'm not sure how Coach Stanford addressed that or anything like that, but I think that the offensive line again is coming together as a unit and doing a great job, and provided George with great protection. And the person that graded out the highest this week was Kyle Bates from Painesville Harvey High School. Our skill player of the game, because George was the overall MVP of the game, our skill player was Dylan Hedrick, who is a freshman running back from Coventry High School, and he's nicknamed the Hammer. He runs with authority. He does did a great job again this weekend. Our other running back, who gained 197 yards last week, had his ankle tweaked during the game, and hopefully will be back this week, but we have to wait and see how the x-rays turn out. On the defensive side of the football, Josh Peacock, we believe he's one of the best safeties in the conference, stepped up and really did a great job and was our secondary player of the week. A young man that keeps coming to the forefront is a freshman, Kyle Burchett from Fairport Harding High School, had 11 solo tackles. He had 3 tackles for assisted tackles. He had a tackle for a loss. He had a sack. Again, continues to grade out very high. Makes some freshman mistakes, but he's got a good running mate beside him in John Davis, who from Newton Falls, who is a transfer from Notre Dame College, that graded out higher than any of the linebackers and really does a good job of mentoring Kyle throughout the course of the game as well as during the week in practice. And the scout teams. You take a look at the scout teams this week. Our defensive line, I asked Coach Stanford who our defensive scout team player of the week was, and he came up with the whole defensive line. They really did a great job of simulating blitzes and stunts and things that Worcester would give us and preparing our offensive line to have success this last weekend. On the offensive side of the ball, we got this big old kid from Marietta High School. His name's Austin Edgell. And, when Austin came in, he's a little bit, he's huge. And we thought his feet were slow and things like that. We made a position change to guard, and he came down and he moves his feet when he pulls, and he does some things during the course of a week of practice that lead us to believe, again, as we did when we recruited him, he's going to be a very good offensive lineman for us the rest of this year and going into next year. The scout teams on the special teams, they're probably the least appreciated group of anybody on the team. They run more than anybody else. They run a lot of plays and things like that. And one young man that really stuck out this week was Jacob Randick. And Jacob is a young man that's from Georgia. He is a young man that now will get an opportunity as a proving ground on those scout teams to step into some varsity roles and compete for varsity special teams and things that are actually going to help him get on the bus to travel when he wouldn't have traveled before. So I can't forget our special teams varsity player of the week, who was Brendan James from Brunswick High School. He's a senior. He's on more special teams than anybody. Did a great job on each one of those special teams and came out with the most production points of anybody that we had. Again, it was a tough loss to Worcester. But as our coaches sat in the room yesterday on Sunday, if this would have been years past, one of the challenges that before I came into work yesterday, I asked our coaches to do was to find something positive that happened from their position group. And then what our players need to work on. And we addressed those with our players last night in the team meeting. And in years past, you would have looked at that meeting and coaches would have been scouring for things to try to find positive in a loss. And as George can attest, the coaches came in and there were more positives than there were things to work on, which means that we're heading in the right direction and we're doing things the right way. And as soon as our head matches our heart, because we have the heart and determination of a winner, we have to do the mental preparation that it takes to get ready for a game. But we are going to be a winning football team when we get that mental aspect down with the heart and determination, because we have the heart of a winner. There's no doubt in my mind. This week we face a very talented team in Westminster College. They're currently ranked 17th in the country. They've had their way with Hiram College in the past. For about the past 10 years, I don't even know the scores, and I don't want to know the scores. As we approach this game, we talked about it last night, the thing that we need to do is improve on our weaknesses, continue to accentuate our positives, and have a chance to win the game when it's on the line in the fourth quarter. Our goal every week is to go in 1-0 and to end the week 1-0. And that's what we're striving to do against Wittenberg College this weekend. The game's a 3 o'clock start because of the distance away. They've decided to reciprocate with us when we go down next year to start the game at 3 o'clock, so we're not getting up at the crack of dawn to travel down and play. And I think that's going to be a huge change.
Sure.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
And so we encourage you to come out to our 3 o'clock game. We had a great crowd this weekend at homecoming. Tremendous support again by the Gridiron Club, the parents. We'll continue to need parents to sell programs to sell the 50/50 raffle, things that benefit our program specifically, and we'll continue to need help through that. So please come on out and support our team as we go into battle this weekend against Wittenberg College. I want to again thank everybody for their continued support, and have a great week, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.